Synonyms, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sah aham, I miss myself. Vasana, living, happy, although, Vibho, O Lord, Bahu Dukkha, with many miseries, Vasam, in a condition, Garbhat, from the abdomen, Na, not, Nirjigamishe, I wish to depart, Bahi, outside, Andhakupe, in the blind well, Yatra, where, Upayatam, one who goes there, Upasarpati, she captures, Devamaya, the external energy of the Lord, Mithya, false, Mati, identification, Yat, which Maya, Anu, according to Samsriti, of continued birth and death, Chakram, cycle, Etat, this. Translation. Therefore, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen, to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. Your external energy, called Deva Maya, at once captures the newly born child and immediately false identification, which is the beginning of the cycle of continual birth and death, begins. Purport. As long as the child is within the womb of his mother, he is very precarious and he is in a very precarious and horrible condition of life. But the benefit is that he revives pure consciousness of his relationship with Supreme Lord and prays for deliverance. But once he is outside the abdomen, when a child is born, Maya or the illusory energy is so strong that he is immediately overpowered into considering his body to be his self. Maya means illusion, or that which is actually not. In the material world, everyone is identifying with his body. This false egoistic consciousness of I am this body at once develops after the child comes out of the womb. The mother and the other relatives are awaiting the child, and as soon as he's born, the mother feeds him and everyone takes care of him. The living entity soon forgets his position and becomes entangled in bodily relationship. The entire material existence is entanglement in this bodily conception of life. Real knowledge means to develop the consciousness of I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Real knowledge entails renunciation or non acceptance of this body as the self. By the influence of Maya, the external energy, one forgets everything just after birth. Therefore, the child is praying that he prefers to remain within the womb rather than come out. It is said that Sukadev Goswami, on this consideration, remained for 16 years within the womb of his mother. He did not want to be entangled in false bodily identification. After cultivating such knowledge within the womb of his mother, he came out at the end of 16 years and immediately left home so that he might not be captured by the influence of Maya. The influence of Maya is also explained in Bhagavad Gita as insurmountable. But insurmountable Maya can be overcome simply by Krishna consciousness. That is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Mam eva e prapadyante, mayam etam tarantite. Whoever surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna can get out of this false conception of life. By the influence of Maya only, one forgets his eternal relationship with Krishna and identifies himself with his body and the byproducts of the body, namely wife, children, society, friendship, and love. Thus, he becomes a victim of the influence of Maya, and his materialistic life of continued birth and death becomes still more stringent. To the Mangalacharya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिलामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिगणसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. First of all, please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Also, pay my pranam and seek the blessing of Madhupati Prabhu for engaging in this seva. We are reading the discussion between Mata Devahuti and Bhagwan Kapil. And in this particular chapter, Kapil Dev is describing the difficult situation the child is in the womb of the mother, and the prayers the child is actually offering. And in this particular verse, if you see, uh, the cage or the difficult situation, the place of blood and stool which the child is in, where he is bitten again and again by many things present in the womb, and he has no place to move. His back is back and neck is stretched like a bow. Uh, Head is tucked into the stomach, and whatever mother is eating, that's actually any spicy thing or any too bitter or too sour, that's troubling the child in the womb. Um, the the fire in the belly is uh, troubling the child, and it's a hell up in there inside the womb. But even being in that situation, the child is in the prayerful mood and is saying that I don't want to go out of this place. Garbha nirjagamishe bahirandha kupe. I wish, na, na means not, nirj, garbhan, from this womb, bahirandha kupe, because the outside world is what is being compared to a blind well of materialistic life, bahirandha kupe. And in that situation, the child doesn't want to be. Because what will happen? The moment the child comes out of the womb of the mother, Deva Maya takes over. Deva is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Maya is the energy, the external energy of the Lord. As we know, there are two Mayas. One is the Yoga Maya, and the other one is Mahamaya. So here, in the external energy of the Lord is Deva Maya, and she will take care. And what is the first thing she will do? The first thing she will do is that Mithya Matir. She will provide the false identification. Mithya means false, and Mati means identification. It's translated. What is the false identification being feared? The false identification being feared is the identification of oneself as this body. And all the problems start with this false identification. Because then we are entangled into serving the body and the bodily extensions, and identifying the needs, other than you know Rishikesh, the Krishna should be the real person whose service we should be doing. We start doing the service of this body and the bodily extensions, namely the wife, the child, the country this body was born into, the culture this body grew up, all those things. And because of that, what happens? Because of that, we are stuck into the cycle of birth and death. Because when we identify this body as ourself, we perform activities which are of two kinds. Either they are going to be pious activities or they are going to be impious activities. Because if Krishna is not in the center, then there is no chance of doing the third kind of activity, which is the akarma. Anything which is done in the service of Krishna is atal dhan, is a imperishable wealth, or is the bhakti, is sukriti. But if Krishna is not in the center, our body is in the center, then all the activities which we do are categorized into either the karma or vikarma. Karma is something which is pious activity. That means we have to take birth to enjoy the fruits of those activities. And vikarma is the impious activities. And what does that have to do? Then we'll have to take the birth to suffer the consequences of those activities. So that's why, even though the condition in the womb of the mother is hellish, the child is praying to not come out. Srila Prabhupada is taking the example of Shukadev Goswami, that he remained in the womb for 16 years. He did not want to come out of the womb of his mother. And even after 16 years, the moment he come came out of the womb of his mother, he left the home. Behind him, Vyasdev is running, you know. Oh, my dear son, please come home. But he is not coming. He just left the home. Then Vyasdev, of course, he sent his disciples singing the glories of the Supreme Lord in the woods and everywhere. And then Sukadeva Goswami, he heard those glories. One of the qualities he heard was that Putana gave him the Kalakut poison. And even after that, because she offered something to Krishna, Krishna gave her the position of a mother. You know? Dhatri uchitam tatonyam. That's what Bhagavatam says, that she got the position which is befitting a dhatri, mother, or the the one who takes care of a child, a nurse. So when Sukadeva Goswami heard this, he came back and said, I want to know more. That's where Vyasdevji described to him the complete Bhagavatam. So it is, this is to be understood. Now, one question which, I was reading Burijan Prabhu's commentary on this. Also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also has described the same thing. Is every child in the womb offering these prayers? And the answer is no. The reason for that is that those who are we are nothing. It's more like, if whatever seeds you are sowing, that's the fruit you'll get. So if um, our actions in this life are going to be of not service to Krishna, then we are not going to remember Krishna suddenly out of nowhere. We have to have rendered this service, and that service can be of any of those 9 activities and Navada Bhakti described by Prahlad Maharaj. But the primary among them is Shravanam and Kirtana. So if we have not heard about Krishna, we have not chanted the glories of Krishna, how will we repeat those in the womb of a mother when we are in a very difficult situation? We see that example in the Gajendra Moksha story, that when Gajendra was in a difficult situation, he remembered the past life and he offered the prayers which he had done then in the previous life. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this example also from Narada Puran and Ramayana, right? That's in the reference to 2 things. One is that those who are in the womb of a mother and have not done any Krishna conscious activities, have no pure consciousness in the previous life, they're not gonna be remembering Krishna. But on the other side, what about those who have actually performed Krishna conscious activities in their life, in the previous life? So here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this example. Akamadapi ye Vishnu sakrita pujam prakurvate na tesham bhavabandha tu kadachit api jayate. Those who worship Vishnu once without material desire are not subject to bondage and no longer take birth. So, this is uh, this is being described in Narad Purana that prakurvate, if they have done once, then they are not going to be subject to the bondage of taking birth again. The other quote which is being given by Krishna Chakravarti Thakur is from uh, Ramayana. Sakrida eva papanno yastas yastavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad mama. I have made a vow that I will give fearlessness to that person, he who surrenders and once says, I am yours. Even once saying this Maha Mantra of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Even what to speak of intentionally chanting this name of Krishna. Those who unintentionally or just by the nama bhas, they get delivered. Ajamil is an example that he was not calling Lord Narayan, he was calling his son named Narayan. But even in that situation, he was delivered. Even Krishna makes this same promise in chapter 9. Chipram bhavati dharmatma sashvam shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly, pratijani, that my devotee never perishes. So um, how Krishna is saying it, that go and declare it boldly, that my devotee never perishes. Another verse which is quoted in this regard is that when we take the name of Krishna, it's not just the present uh, sins, but past and the future are also destroyed. That means it gives the relief from the past karmas and also protect us from the futures, any mistakes. Now again, we shouldn't take this as a security measure, and then we have chanted our rounds today or taken name of Krishna, and then we start going and doing all kinds of sins, because that comes under the 10 offenses, and doing those offenses is like destroying the bhakti lata bees. It's like letting a mad elephant enter the garden of our bhakti. What will a mad elephant do once enters the garden? It's gonna destroy the entire garden. वर्तमानं तु यत् पापं यद् भूतां यद् भविष्यति तत्सर्वं निर्दह्यति आशु गोविंदानल कीर्तनात्. Govindanal, the name of Govinda, which is like a fire, doing the chanting of that name, Ashu, quickly, very quickly, Nirdahyati, destroys, Sarvam, all of it. What all? The Vartamanam, the present, Bhutam, the past, and Bhavishyati, the future as well. So, it's important to understand that this material world is being described in this verse as Andhakupa, which is described as degraded or lower than the hellish condition in the womb. And uh, a child who is intelligent, a bhakta, is praying that please, I do not want to go out in this world. Why? Because Maya Devi is gonna give me mithya mate. Uh, that's false identification is gonna capture, and because of that, I am going to uh, get into the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So, but the moment the birth takes place, the child is loses all this memory and is getting entangled because being captured by Deva. But we are fortunate that by these shastras in our acharyas, we are being reminded of that position. And we should take up to this name of Govinda, which is like an anala. It's like a fire. We should do the kirtan of it so that it can put us into Krishna consciousness. With that, I'd like to stop here. And, there is, I think, no time, so we can. If there are any discussions we can take up in the Nitya Bhagavad group. Over to you,
Thank you very much, Akhilesh. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. A day before our biggest festival, also Radhastami. We'll be having lots of services today and tomorrow. If you'd like to get engaged in any way, please let us know. In the evening, there is China Divas ceremony, and different articles will be offered to Srimati Radharani. So you're most welcome. The ceremony will be from 8:30 to 9 after Sharanarthi. Yep. Tomorrow is fasting till noon and whole day celebrations for Srimati Radharani. We like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Narsingho, Jai Narsingho, Jai Jai Narsingho, Praladesha, Jaya
Jaya Padma,
Ugra Veera Mahavira,
Gravira,
Kam Sarvatam,
Jalandam Saratom,
Vicharam,
Narsin, Vishnu, Bhadram, Miti, Namami,
Narsingha Bhagwan ki Jai,
Ki
Prahlad
Jai,
ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Asimal Vaishnavas. Vancha Kalpataru
Vanchikalpatarupash, Patitana,
Avane Bhayo Vaishnave
Vaishnavi, Namo Namah,
Govinda ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai,
Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Ki
Srila
Jai,
Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hare Hare Hare.
Thank you, Akhilesh.
Thank you, everybody. Hare
Thank you.
Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Thank you, Prabhu.
pranam.